Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to a victory edition of Titans and Truth. I'm your man Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we gonna get right into this very wonderful show that I got in store for you this evening as we celebrate. As you can see, got my Titans on as we definitely celebrate a nice 35-22 victory over the Indianapolis Colts. And it was a very good game on Monday Night Football. I don't know what the rest of the world was not looking at, but they missed a heck of a game if they had just turned on ESPN and started watching. So I don't know what's wrong with them. But for those who did see it, I know it was a good game. Have fun at Nissan Stadium with all the fans. And I know some people will say it wasn't an electric crowd, but I think it got loud when it needed to. I mean, we didn't have a lot to cheer for early on, but we definitely had a lot to cheer for later in the game as things got very interesting. But yes, Titans got a big win to push their record to 3-3 on the year. They are atop a three-way tie of first place in the AFC South, and they have a better record at 2-1 in the division. And so let's just want to give some thoughts and break this game down a little bit. Yes, the first half was a little bit forgettable, even though first off, I got to give hats off to one Marcus Mariota. He put on a gutsy performance Monday night, going, I believe, 23 of 32, a quiet 306 yards. He threw a pick, but he also threw a nice touchdown pass, which we'll get to in a little bit. But it was a gutsy performance on his part, basically playing almost on one leg. I know it was kind of sore and everything, but he gutted it out and really stepped up for his team and showed why he is the leader of this team. And I got nothing but mad love and respect for him, I always have. But I think anybody that watched the game, the rest of the nation that did watch the game, learned a lot about Marcus. And I think Marcus learned something about himself on Monday night, saying that, you get dinged up, but you can play through it. When your team needs you, you got to be able to just get down and do everything you can to help your team win. And that's exactly what happened. Again, let's get to the first half. Wasn't really nothing spectacular to look at. I mean, he had some decent drives going, some nice passing with Marcus and, a few runs. It wasn't getting much, but, you got to keep going with the run to kind of wear a defense down. But it ended up keeping it stalled to field goals by the offense. But I will say the good thing was Ryan Suckup now it has a record all by himself. He hit his NFL record 47th field goal within 40 yards. So as long as he's not under 40 yards, under 50 yards, he has hit 47 straight field goals. Of course, on the night, he ended up hitting 5 field goals. So he ended up with an NFL record 51 straight field goals inside of 50 yards. So congratulations to Ryan Suckup. And of course, he was named AFC Special Team Player of the Week. And he's one of the very few that has been named AFC Special Team Player of the Week and also AFC Special Team Player of the Month in the same year. So that is something very cool and definitely big shout out to him. But the disappointing thing was you don't want to see a whole bunch of field goals. You want to see touchdowns. And it looked like things just kind of got a little, I think the play calling was just not in sync. I think at times Robisky again got a little bit too cute. I didn't like that. But you get points where you get points. Defensively, I think we got off to a rocky start early against the Colts because Marlon Mack broke off a nice little run. I think it was a 22-yard run, but after that we held him in check. Frank Gore had, a nice little run here and there, like a run that might have been like 8 or 9 yards or a 10-yard run here and there. But the running game really wasn't much of a factor as people would make it out to believe. I mean, between Gore and Marlon Mack, they only had 12 carries for a combined, excuse me, let me get my figures right. I want to say it was a combined 77 yards or 67 yards rather on 12 carries between the two. And Jacoby Brissett really didn't run much at all either. Um, so that was a good job of us neutralizing that. So I think, the defense kind of started off a little shaky at first. They didn't get a lot of pressure on Brissett. He threw some passes. He got a pass to the Moncrief, and then Jack Doyle, the former Tennessee Titan tight end, early on, caught a pass or two here and there, and kind of took advantage of us as he's done in the past. But luckily, there was only one touchdown, which was that to Jack Doyle in the second quarter. But other than that, it was basically field goals. So the Indianapolis Colts took a 13-9 lead going into the half. Second half, I think, was a much, much better half by the Tennessee Titans. And I mean, what they did, they made some very, very good adjustments. Dick LeBeau made some adjustments, got a little bit more aggressive, played a lot more man on the outside, and really started to dial up some pressure on Jacoby Brissett. Now, Brissett did not get sacked, but he did get hit quite a bit in the second half. And so what that led to was that led to a lot of passes being thrown before he wanted to. I believe he had quite a few incomplete passes, was off with some receivers, had, I wanted to say, one, maybe two intentional grounding penalties called on him. And I got to say, bravo for the job the secondary did on T.Y. Hilton. They only held him. T.Y. Hilton only had one catch for like 13 yards the entire game. They could not get to him. They mainly went to Moncrief, and I think that was basically it. Moncrief, I think, had like 4 catches or something like that. Wasn't really a huge factor in the second half. And I think Brissett, when he got pressured, was like 3 of 11 when he got pressured or got hit as he let the ball go. The running game was non-existent. I think the Titans really did a great job of neutralizing some things. I believe they outscored them, if I am not mistaken. I'm trying to go back on my math. I believe it was actually 26-9. I believe was the second half. And in the fourth quarter, we outscored them 21-3 the rest of the way. So we kept just chopping at them slowly but surely. But we ended up striking when we needed to. And so, the first part of the second half didn't start off so hot offensively. Marcus threw a pick 6 to begin the third quarter after a 3-and-out by the defense. And that was something that, they had trouble with in the first half. But the second half, the defense really started forcing a lot of 3-and-outs. The offense continued to pound the running game. And Marcus really learned how to win by staying in the pocket. He did not run much at all. The only time he ran, he escaped the pocket and it took a quick slide right at the line of scrimmage, or another play where he got outside the pocket and just threw the ball away. So some very smart plays, by Marcus, but he made some very timely throws in the course of the second half, and then a beautiful deep bomb to Taywan Taylor, which was right on the money. Could not have thrown it any better, and it was nice to see Taywan Taylor get involved, getting a deep pass over Malik Hooker. That was exciting to see, and that was just a clutch throw. And then DeMarco Murray got into the act, had like 5 straight runs to punch it into the end zone for the touchdown when we took the lead. And I just really liked that 15-play, 87-yard drive that put us ahead. I mean, Marcus was patient. The running game got going. Some nice crisp passes. He kept checked down to Derrick Henry on a play. And a lot of people will probably say that DeMarco Murray was overshadowed by Derrick Henry. But let me tell you how important DeMarco Murray's play was. Even though DeMarco Murray had 12 carries for 40 yards, he had 4 big catches out of the backfield for 47 yards that set up a lot of different things. Helped get in the field goal range. And also the out of 12 carries, he ran the ball 5 straight times in the red zone, and they kept punching it until they got in. So kudos to both backs. And of course, Derrick Henry, had a very good game, had some timely runs. And then, of course, he put on the exclamation point when we got the ball back with, I want to say, under about a minute and a half to go. Derrick Henry took the ball, nice pull by Josh Klein, got outside past the first down marker. John Gruden said it best, game over, but he wasn't stopping and ran the ball 72 yards for a touchdown, which was a gutsy run that pretty much iced the game for us and put the victory in the bag for us. Hammer, nail, coffin. Offensively. So offensively really came out to play. Defensively, again, Logan Ryan stepped up. Adoree Jackson played very well. LaShawn Sims had a few nice plays. Kevin Byard was his usual self. And, I mean, Wesley Woodyard. Wesley Woodyard, I say it again, the dude is drinking from the fountain of youth because he made plays all over the field, and he made one of the biggest plays of the game in the fourth quarter on fourth down. Brissett tried to run a bootleg to try to get to the first down marker, and Wesley Woodyard stopped him right before he got to the first down marker, even though they challenged it and checked everything. Titans ball. And that was a big play. Also, Avery Williamson causing a fumble on Jack Doyle, led to a field goal. And also some big plays from Logan Ryan. He knocked the ball away from Jack Doyle a couple of times. And there was another time where it looked like it was a fumble, but they said it was not. But that pretty much led to the turnover on downs. And we basically ended the game with that touchdown run. So a very, very nice win. They just need to play the way they played the second half. They need to play the entire game. If they do that, they're going to win a lot of ball games, and they're going to scare a lot of people. But a nice victory, 35-22, 3-3. Nice to feel good on top of the division as we have the Cleveland Browns, the winless Cleveland Browns, coming up next. And so, I give kudos also to the crowd, especially the crowd that was around me in section 143 and also section 142. They were getting loud as the game went on, and it was just exciting. I've always loved playing ball under the lights, and excuse me for that. And I mean, it's just something about football under the lights that just gets me excited. And it was actually a very nice atmosphere. I know a lot of people will probably think it wasn't, but in my opinion, it was. It was a very, very nice atmosphere. It may have not been as sold out as we wanted it to for Monday Night Football, but hey, I enjoyed myself, and I think a lot of other people did too. I'd rather enjoy myself after a win than after a loss. So that's how I feel about that. And so, with that being said, let us get to our two-tone blue star of the week. We had a couple of nominations. I saw Mr. Kihai Salvador say the O-line. Brandon came in and said star of the week without a doubt is Wesley Woodyard. And I cannot really disagree with that. As far as Woodyard, the O-line protected Marcus Mariota better on that. But I will give an honorable mention to both because the offensive line, again, protected Marcus well and slowly started to get the running game going. So that was actually very good. Wesley Woodyard, again, Fountain of Youth, great game, big time stop on fourth down. But my two-tone blue star of the week has to be Marcus Mariota. 306 yards, a quiet 306 yards. Again, playing on one leg. The hamstring was probably quite sore, but reports from today from Mike Mularkey's press conference after practice, Marcus fully practiced today and looks like he's going to be good to go against the Cleveland Browns. But definitely honorable mention to Wesley Woodyard and to the offensive line, and definitely to Logan Ryan in the second half. So I definitely agree with that. Dunce, and of course, with a star of the week, we also got to go to the other side for dunce of the day. And there could have been a few that was not very good. I mean, my usual, Bryce McCain being on the field for 11 snaps, that's dunce worthy. Brandon also said secondary in the first half wasn't very good. So I definitely understand that. But I'm going to go a little bit special. I'm going to go off the path a little bit. Dunce of the day has to kind of go to John Gruden and to any national media that thinks they know the Titans, but they really don't. I mean, John Gruden called Taywan Taylor a gimmick player or like a gadget player. And I mean, that just says he doesn't watch a lot of Titans football. I mean, he'll watch Marcus, but that's about it. I mean, there was some stuff that John Gruden said during the broadcast that just was very confusing. And I think a lot of fans just probably felt disrespected. Like, dude, you didn't take the time to learn about our team before you decide to, broadcast about us. But that's ESPN for you. A lot of the media there, a lot of the media don't know a lot about us and are not big fans of us, with the exception of Herm Edwards. I will say that Herm Edwards definitely gives us some love. Now, I also got to give a little bit of an honorable mention dunce to Ryan Clark at ESPN, to the former Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback. He wasn't exactly talking good about us either, basically saying, well, the defense is still not very good and all of this and that. And I know theoretically there is some points to that because the pass rush wasn't there. And I should have mentioned that as far as a honorable mention. I mean, the pass rush. Derek Morgan, Orakpo, Casey, not getting to the quarterback a whole lot. I mean, not getting sacks. I mean, the defensive line is supposed to be one of our strongest points on the team, and we just haven't showed it. I mean, through 6 games, we have just 8 sacks. That's not going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we need to get sacks all day, all game. We need to at least have 4 sacks a game. And, I mean, that would go a long way to our defense being better. That'll help the secondary cover. That could lead to turnovers and stuff like that. So, I mean, the defensive line's got a lot of work to do. And I don't know if it'll all get fixed this season, but I think in the offseason, John Robinson's going to have his work cut out for him because he's going to have to fix the defensive line, definitely, to gain more pressure on the quarterback. But that was it. My two-tone blue star of the week, of course, Marcus Mariota, with an honorable mention going to the offensive line and Wesley Woodyard. Dunce of the day going to John Gruden, with a little bit of honorable mention to Ryan Clark at ESPN and also the defensive line. Now, this will go into a very short version of Pick My Brain. Pick my brain. And I got a good question here for my guy Brandon. And basically what he's saying is, why are we starting so badly to play catch up, to possibly keep it close in the end of the game, instead of game planning like they do the second half at the beginning of the game? And that is actually a very good question because I know, Brandon, I know it's been very frustrating. I know you said Dick LeBeau has been coaching way too long to be treated like a punk in the first half of the games, and I know it's been frustrating. Um, the last few games, the game against Miami, Houston, Seattle, all started with 3-and-outs on the first drive. This was the first drive, I want to say, since the Jacksonville game, if I'm not mistaken. This was the first time that we went through a first drive with points. And, it was only 3, but, it was a good thing to see them start off a little bit better. Yeah, I would have liked the touchdown, but hey, we'll take the points in the way we can get it. And I mean, the team we're about to face, the Cleveland Browns, have yet to score anything on their first possession of drives. They have went 3-and-out on every opening drive this season. We've got to help make that trend continue. So I think they're trying to fill out the defense a little bit, see what they're trying to do. As far as the offense is concerned, defensively, I just think it may be the same thing, but they don't really need to fill out the offense. They just need to attack the offense, basically. So that's really what has been happening for the slow start of games. But, hopefully as time goes on, they put that behind them and start scoring touchdowns on first drives, and then the defense forcing 3-and-outs on the first drive. And so that was actually a very, very good question, Brandon. And I definitely do thank you very much for that. And again, always make sure you can hit me up with Pick My Brain questions at any point in time. I'll definitely answer them on the show. I would probably ask it's best to maybe keep it to about 3 to 5 questions. So that way we could definitely speed along and everybody has an opportunity to have their questions heard. And so one other thing I definitely wanted to do is that I definitely want to pose a question out to all of you viewing the show today. And I want you to add this. I want you to put your comment in the comment box on YouTube. And my question is this: have you been pulled off the ledge after this victory over the Colts? What is your confidence meter going forward for the rest of the year? 1 being they're going to stink, they're not very good. 10 being they're going to the playoffs and nobody can stop them. I want to see what your confidence level is from 1 to 10 after this victory over the Colts. And you can leave your comment in the comment box under the video here on YouTube. So I want you to give me some thoughts on that. But let's now go ahead and preview the Cleveland Browns, who come in with a record of 0-6 on the year. They're one of 2 winless teams left in the NFL. Of course, we play the other winless team later this year in the San Francisco 49ers. And so, Browns come in 0-6. They have made a second quarterback change. Deshaun Kaiser started the year and then was benched and in the second half of the game against the Jets, and then Kevin Hogan started their game last week against the Houston Texans, and looked horrible in that game. Threw 2 interceptions in the game. I would take that back. He threw 3 interceptions in the game, and of course they got beat down pretty good, 33-17, at the hands of the Houston Texans. And some things I noticed from that game was, there was some, they were running the ball little by little on this defense, even though technically this defense is statistically ranked 8th in the league. Eighth best defense in the league, sixth against the run, 17th against the pass. And I mean, Deshaun Watson he kind of butchered them a bit. I mean, he gave a touchdown pass to DeAndre Hopkins, a deep pass to Will Fuller. Gave one to Braxton Miller as well. So, I think this is a team that can be passed on, and which brings me to my Blue Enforcer 4 points to victory. And, there is definitely something to be said about that. First, number one, stop the run. And that means shutting down Isaiah Crowell and Duke Johnson so that they're not even a factor. And limit Deshaun Kaiser from escaping and taking off. That's going to be very important because if you can shut down the run and you can make them one-dimensional, it leads me to point number 2 to victory, and that is put the ball in Deshaun Kaiser's hands. Force him to beat you. Because in this season, in the 5 starts he had, he has thrown only 3 touchdowns, 9 interceptions on the year. So he's turned the ball over a lot. And the Browns are, they tend to turn the ball over. So this could be some ample opportunities for the Titans defense to get some turnovers, maybe get a couple of picks, and maybe do some damage with those turnovers. And as I looked at, the game against the Jets and the Houston game, honestly, there's nobody on the Cleveland Brown offense that scares me. It's not. Deshaun Kaiser's not very good. I mean, they got a couple of receivers in Ricardo Lewis and Triggs. You haven't seen any of Corey Coleman. And, they're talking about trying to get Kenny Britt back for this game. Obviously, he has a little bit of extra motivation, seeing that we were the team that drafted him back in 2009. But I don't even think Britt's going to be a factor. He doesn't scare me either as far as offensively. So I think the defense has a chance to really do well in this game and really put together a consistent performance. I mean, second half of this game against the Colts, also they did very well against Miami. I know these are 3 terrible offenses, but hey, it's not our fault. They were put on our schedule. We got to take care of business with them. And point number 3, now I go to the offensive side of the ball, is use the pass to set up the run. You're seeing that the Browns are 6th in the league against the run. They're going to try to stack the box and stop the run. So what we need to do is to get some short, crisp passes to kind of, open up that defense a little bit. And, they won't have 7, 8, 9 in the box. They may only have about 5 to 6 in the box, 5 to 6 or 7 in the box, which makes it a lot easier for the running game to get started. Again, that's why I say use the pass to set up the run. Good, crisp passes can do the job. And point number 4 being, we got to have patience with the running game. It may not be there early, but it'll definitely be there late. Danny Shelton has been, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about Danny Shelton. I mean, Derrick Henry and DeMarco Murray could be very important in this game. I know DeMarco Murray did not practice today, and I still think with luck he'll go in this particular game. So I think DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry will get, close to an equal share of carries. Marcus won't have to move around as much and can deliver the ball on time, which will do us a lot of good. And the short, crisp passes could also help neutralize Myles Garrett, Danny Shelton, Emmanuel Ogbo, also in the second in the pass rush and secondary department. So that's something that we may need in order to accomplish defeating the Browns in this game and making them 0-7. So with all that being said, I think Derrick Henry has another monster game at the end. I think Marcus is patient, uh, throws about two touchdown passes, no interceptions, and then of course Star Trek, gets, you know, they get to stay 0-7. They get to be 0-7. J Mac may not be a factor, and besides Myles Garrett, there's not really anybody on the defensive side of the ball that strikes fear in me either. So I'm not saying this is a cakewalk, but this is a game that I think is very winnable, and I think they will take care of business. I predicted a score of about 24-7, the Titans winning, and we have a 4-3 record going into our bye week. So I just think that is going to be a very, very good look for us going into our bye week. And then we have Baltimore and Cincinnati coming up after that game. And so last but not least, on this Titans and Truth Wednesday, before we get out of here, my blue bombshell of the week, I want to show some very, very special love to Mrs. Jackson, Adoree Jackson's mom, who was honored as the 12th Titan on Monday night. She's a mom, and she's also a breast cancer survivor. And, that is just something to be proud of, and something the whole Titan family can be proud of. So, to Mrs. Jackson, keep on keeping on, my dear sister. And you're conquering breast cancer. I like what they're doing with the crucial play with, all cancers. Again, prostate cancer. You got lung cancer, just to name a few. And it's nice to know that they're trying to share about all of the cancers that are really, really bad in this world. And that's something that we have got to defeat cancer. We have got to find a cure for some of these diseases so that we can stop cancer once and for all. And then last but not least, my question of the day was talking about what would be your favorite city to go vacation to? Favorite city to go vacation to. If you're seeing this on YouTube, drop a choice in the comment box about where you would have wanted to go. Brandon put in, of course, Orlando, Florida, for Disney and Universal all day, every day. And I know that's right. Orlando is a beautiful place to visit. My personal favorite right now would have to be Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and Pigeon Forge, because I really enjoy the script. I also enjoy the Smoky Mountains, and I enjoy Dollywood. Dollywood is my spot. I love it. I love going there as much as possible and having a really, really good time at Dollywood, and also shopping on the Strip. The ski lifts are just incredible. Uber Gatlinburg is a cool place. Basically at the top of a mountain and everything with that. You could take a tram up when you could just see like some of the nice houses. You're just looking at the mountains, and you see the whole city from there, which is actually breathtaking. So those are just some of my favorite. That's one of my favorites. Also, Hot Springs, I like it there. That's a nice place for couples to have some to romance and to do some other fun stuff too. So that's just my thought on that. Again, if you're catching this on YouTube or on Facebook, leave me a comment below of what your favorite vacation spot is, and I'll definitely answer you accordingly on that. But that's all the time I have this evening, and I thank everybody for tuning in. And this has been another great episode of Titans and Truth. And I will see y'all again next week. And we'll go Facebook Live after the Titans and Browns game this Sunday. So get ready for that. And also remember, follow me, share this show, subscribe to the page if you have not. Check me out on Facebook, Titans and Truth fan page. Also, follow me on Instagram at Blue Enforcer 1914, Blue underscore Enforcer, EN4CER 1914. Also on Twitter at capital TNTB LU capital EN4CER. That's TNT Blue Enforcer on Twitter, and also the website. That's www.titansandtruth.wixsite.com/titansandtruth. This episode will be up on that website once it's loaded. And also check out the blogs too. Just released one earlier today. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment in the contact us portion of the website. So I'm out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in to Titans of Truth. See y'all again next week. Hopefully after a big victory over the Browns. I'll holler at y'all. Peace out.